Hi, gals.
Hello.
Welcome to the weekly visit. I'm Beth.
I'm Steph.
And we are talking about something that's very near and dear to my heart. Something that I feel like is timely and also timeless.
Wow.
I just thought of that, actually.
I'm living all the sayings you're saying.
Really? I do. I feel like talking about resilience is for this moment and at the same time for every moment of our lives. It feels really important in the life of a believer.
Anyway, so as I'm thinking about today's topic, I'm thinking about Noah and I'm thinking about Job.
Ooh.
Here's why.
Whoa.
I'm sorry, not Noah.
I was wondering where we were going with
Moses.
that. Moses.
Like, he was so resilient, but also in tune with the voice of God, but also
That
like,
is it.
but also
Wow.
like, there were times where like he didn't do what God told him to do. Like, he struck a rock, like, but he always like he had a voice to go hear. He had a voice to go listen to.
You're so good. You're so right. Because I think even when Moses was not obedient, that did not stop him from going back to the Lord and trying again.
And here's the thing. All Moses wanted to do was to get to the promised land. All we want is that thing, that prayer that we've answered, that we've asked for over and over and over again. And God allowed Moses to see the promised land, like in his earthly life, right? He like stood on a mountain and was able to see it, but he didn't enter it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is kind of sad. I was at this talk. Stay with me, friends.
Yeah.
I was at this talk. And again, I just think of Moses just like, he literally lived his life trying to do what God asked him to do over and over and over again. And it was very tiring. It took a long time, probably longer than it needed to because,
Yeah.
people are cuckoo.
It always does.
And I was listening to this talk, and we can kind of be like, well, that kind of is not cool. Like he did everything. He tried, at least. He tried his best. And I was listening to this talk, and the speaker said, but like, isn't it possible that like he got to see the promised land. So like he like saw it and he didn't enter it. But isn't it possible that the transfiguration moment when he's on the mountain with Jesus and Elijah is the experience of being in the promised land, the fulfillment through Jesus, because Jesus was there, that he got to enter it after all, and not in his earthly life and not on the timeline he thought, but that God is still so good that he still allowed him to participate in that and to be part of that because he was with Jesus, he was with Elijah in this moment of the transfiguration. I was like, God, you're so good. Even if like, I just like, there's so many things where I'm like, well, that ship sailed for me. that's not going to happen for me in my life. Yeah. And I'm like, no, but the Lord can like do so much. I'm like, he can fulfill his promise even when it's in a way that I don't understand it. And maybe in years, and maybe I don't even ever like visibly see it for myself.
Yes.
That like, he's still going to be good. He's still going to hold true to his promise.
Claire Dwyer talks a lot about Saint Gianna Beretta Molla and how she desired to be a missionary doctor, and her brother, I think, was a priest and a missionary, and she had this burning desire to join him on mission in South America, I think. Ooh. And she never realized that dream. And you can look at that, and you can look at her life and wonder, and you can look at your own life and wonder, like, Lord, what was that? That was a God-given dream.
Yes.
But the first miracle that was attributed to her beatification or her canonization was a pregnant woman in the very country where she desired to be a missionary.
Wow.
So even in heaven, from heaven, God is still fulfilling desires.
Yeah.
Our timeline, our linear sense of limited time and space, like, there's no end with God. There's no end with God. And I was even thinking, I feel like I was having a conversion as you were talking about Moses, because that reality of him only looking at the promised land but not inheriting it, for me, has been a real pain point in my own life. Like, you can mess it up. He tapped the rock twice, so you can mess it up. But something shifted, something unlocked for me as you were talking about that. Before you even mentioned the Transfiguration, I believe he did see the promised land because the promised land was God face to face. He saw something better than the land of milk and honey. He saw the source of milk and honey face to face. And he was changed utterly by daily encounters with the Holy One. He spoke to God as with a friend, and that's better than inheriting this linear earthly promise, because God is the promise.
Amen.
And I know, depending on where you are, that can land differently for people. You can think, I don't know, that's not, but I thought it was this. Well, first of all bets are off with God, because he's unlimited.
Yep.
And so who knows what he's able to do, what he's going to do, what he's already doing that we can't see. It's not a switcheroo. I feel like I understood in that moment in the life of Moses that God is way more faithful and has way bigger dreams for us than we have for ourselves.
Yeah.
So it's not like he didn't give Moses what he promised. He gave him the ultimate promise, the better desire, which somehow I think encompassed the earthly tangible sense of the desire for the promised land as well.
And in that resilience, like you said, like he was with God, like he was there, and that's.
I'm sorry. I need to talk about this. I think that the source of our resilience is God himself.
Amen.
The source of our resilience is Jesus Christ. It is not about us pulling ourselves up by our bootstraps. It's not about us laying down and saying, okay, God, I guess that's what you don't want. Like, carry me the rest of the way. Don't confuse giving up with surrender. We can do that in our lives when really there's like an undercurrent of hopelessness there. No, resilience is found in relationship with God. I was literally in spiritual direction yesterday, and I was trying to explain to her the deepest, truest, realest, isest place. That's how I would describe it. The most present and real experience of life and love for me. And nothing else matters when I'm in that place. Yep. It's not even like, well, I trust him with this thing I care about. Or I know everything's going to be okay. It's like when I'm there, when I'm in that pocket, that sweet spot in the Father's arms, I don't want anything. I don't care in a way that's like cold or detached. It's like a true freedom, and it's only found in the Father's arms. And that's what I would call resilience, is that I'm just looking at him and being held by him, and nothing else matters from that place.
Amen. And he's just there, he's present. I think, and like, again, resilience just to me just teaches me to be with him in that moment. Not to work my way to the end, not to get a prize, not to accomplish something, or even get out of this tough time. Resilience to me is just like, he loves me so much that he wants to be with me now. Not when I get to the finish line. Like, he wants to be with me in my frustration, in my tiredness, in my doubt, my sorrow, my hurt, all of that. He cares about me right now. And so the resilience is loving him back, like being okay knowing.
Well, I think going to him in the first place.
Yeah, that not everything is laid out the way I want it to be, but I know that he's near, that the Lord is near. And like, what more? In that moment, like you said, like, we're just already satisfied because we get to be with him. Obviously, we want like the terms and conditions to be perfect, but they're not gonna be. Well, not in this lifetime.
That's the temptation that you laid out so beautifully, is like, well, okay, what's next? Or when is this going to happen? When my circumstances change, then I'll feel better. Then I can be resilient. But it's really just in the rest, like in his arms, looking at him. I really do. I think I'm discovering this even as we're talking about it, external processor. That resilience is the ability to be faced with something and turn our face to the Lord. It's exercising that muscle, developing that reflex, that I'm actually not going to focus on the evidence, on the natural, on this linear timeline. And I see this, and I'm not denying, okay, I'm sad or I'm scared or I'm disappointed, but I'm turning and telling him, I'm sad and I'm scared and I'm disappointed. And that's where we have the strength then for what's next. And we do it from a place of greater freedom and peace and joy, because we're totally loved and cared for. So again, it's not that thing doesn't matter anymore, but that thing's not up to us.
Right.
It's up to him, and we're just with him. It's our responsibility just to be with him.
Thanks for watching our clip from the weekly visit.
To watch the full conversation, head over to the member community linked down below.
We love visiting with you, so we'll see you there.